Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Exotic Gaming. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to share with you all 10 awesome FPS games for iOS and Android that you can play completely offline. You don't need any internet to play these games, and these are the perfect games to have on your phone in case you ever drive through the mountains, or maybe you go on an airplane, or even a submarine. I went on a submarine a couple of months ago. Yeah, it was pretty cool. But hey, I hope this video does help you guys out. If it does, please do take a second and leave a like and share this video with your friends if they are in need of some offline FPS games. Subscribe down below for more videos just like this, and take a second and comment down below your favorite offline FPS game. By the way, all download links will be down below in the description. Thanks, guys, and with that being said, let's get into the video. Alrighty, everybody, game number 1 is the one that you're seeing right here, Special Forces Group 3. This might be the most nostalgic game on this whole list, and a lot of people are going to be shocked to see it here. Many people started their mobile gaming careers on a game called Special Forces Group 2, which came out many years ago. It was an offline game, and it was perfect for budget, low-end devices. Well, guess what? Special Forces Group 3 is finally the sequel to the second one, and it's awesome. I did a full video on this game a few weeks ago, and you might want to check it out, but this game has a fantastic UI, tons of customizability within the game settings itself, a massive map selection, fully customizable map rules when you're going up against bots, a really nice graphics style, decent gameplay mechanics, online play if you want, and so much more. The game isn't even fully out yet, so expect it to get even better as the months progress. So many people are going to be extremely happy this game is finally out, and this is definitely a game you want to have downloaded on your phone. But hey, moving on! The next game on this list is a game I've talked about several times before on this channel, Rise of Demons. Rise of Demons is a game still in a relatively early stage of development, and my best description of it is it's basically Doom for mobile devices. Like, this game does Doom better than even the real Doom Mobile, and it's insane. I think this game really stands out with its amazing graphic style and pretty decent gory effects, awesome looking monsters and zombies that all have their own unique attacks, several different maps to keep things fresh, a progressively more difficult set of stages as you play more and more, a wide variety of different weapons that you can unlock over time, unique skills and special abilities you can unlock as well, and just so much more. It feels really satisfying when you're playing this game, and even though this game isn't perfect, it really is one of the better offline FPS games for mobile devices right now, and I would highly recommend giving it a shot. You don't have to keep it, you can always uninstall it if you're not happy with the game. I think you will though, and I think another game you'll be very happy with is the one that you're seeing right here, Netlooter. This game is wildly different from the others I've shown before, and I want to be very clear about something. It looks like a game that wouldn't be very good, but it actually is a ton of fun when you start to play it. Netlooter is all about auto-firing weapons, and it has this awesome arcadey feel to it that I don't really see with video games nowadays. Like, this game feels like it would have been perfect in the year 2005. It's a nice, fresh take on a mobile first-person shooter, and even though this game definitely has its fair share of glitches and bugs, it's really worth giving a shot. I remember I did a video on this game a couple of months ago, and I genuinely had so much fun playing Netlooter. Like, I might honestly do another video on it pretty soon. You have tons of weapons to choose between, so many different maps to play in, awesome enemies you have to try and defeat, and so much more. I really like this game. But hey, moving on, the next game on this list is something I can guarantee you were not expecting. Pixel Gun 3D. Yes, the game that I've made countless rants about recently, talking about how it's a shell of its former self and how the devs don't listen to their community. However, looking past all of this, I gotta say, Pixel Gun 3D does have some really cool offline game modes. When you open up the game into offline mode, you can play a really cool campaign that is honestly better than most other video games, super nostalgic and extremely difficult when you get to the final world. You have the ability to play an endless shooter mode with waves of monsters and zombies called Arena, and if you don't have much experience with this, you can play this for a really long time without getting bored. There's my personal favorite mode called Extreme Run, and it's essentially like a futuristic Subway Surfers. It gets faster and faster as you run further and further, and eventually you'll go too fast to keep up. And finally, there's their classic mode, called Pixel Gun 3D, which is completely spelled wrong. I don't know why. It pays homage to the classic 2013 version of the game. So yeah, pretty cool. What's also pretty cool is a game called Pipehead Story. This is a weird one, okay? It's a horror game, and it takes advantage of the trend of that pipe siren head monster guy with the weird music that I'm sure you've seen on meme pages. And as the game describes, here's the story. On duty in the exclusion zone, an unknown stalker contacts you by radio, asking for help. He is stuck in a bunker in which there's no light and air, only radiation and hungry monsters. Help him get out as soon as possible and find out what he was doing there. And yeah, it's definitely got a creepy vibe. It seems like it's not completely polished, but I do love how atmospheric it sounds. It's raining when you start the game, and it just adds so much immersion, especially when you're running around inside looking for clues and hear the distant thunder outside. The monsters that you shoot are really freaky. The game sounds definitely keep you up at nights. There are some cool weapons and gun mechanics, a highly interactive environment, and a whole lot more. By the way, let me know in the comments if you'd like to see me make an entire series on this game. And if you have been enjoying this video, take a second and subscribe. I do these videos every couple of weeks, and if you like to continue learning about brand new mobile games, then subscribe so you don't miss out on my next one. And now, getting halfway through this video, we gotta talk about a game called Endless Night 3 Shrine. This is another game that you may have never heard of before, and it's another one of those dark, horror-like first-person shooters. It's the third addition to the Endless Nightmare series, but it takes place before the second game on the timeline. I know, it's weird. It's sort of like Star Wars, dude. You're basically this guy named Carlos, who's part of an international criminal police organization specializing in multinational crimes. Your goal of this game is to travel to Egypt to get this thing called the Heart of the Pharaoh before a large-scale criminal organization called Black Python gets it first. You have great graphics in this game, a really creepy horror vibe just like in the last game, tons of weapons to choose between that you can also upgrade to fight against more powerful monsters, lots of skills to learn to enhance your survivability, puzzles everywhere you gotta figure out to progress farther, and a whole lot more. This game seems more polished than the Pipehead game, but they're both equally as fun. Give them a shot, you'll enjoy them. But hey, we gotta continue on here. This next game is a game I've featured many times on my channel before, Combat Master Mobile. I always like to include it on these list videos because it is severely underrated, and even though most of you have probably heard of before, it's always worthy of getting on these lists. This game is awesome, and it's actually surprisingly good for low-end devices. It has some of the jankiest and most fast-paced movement out of any mobile first-person shooter I've ever seen, definitely has a high learning curve, and I love it for that. In case you don't know anything about Combat Master, this game is sort of like Modern Warfare 2019, but for mobile devices. It's got really good graphics, tactical sprints, and a lot of other things you find in Modern Warfare. Some people might not realize this, but you can play this game online and offline. If you want to play it offline, just open the game up in airplane mode, and you can play almost all the same game modes, but against bots instead of real players. And let me tell you, the bots are tough. They don't even feel like bots, so you'll be in for a challenge when you play this game. I can spend all day talking about this game, so be sure to check out some of my videos on it if you'd like. And yes, we're getting sort of close to the end here. The next game on this list is a game called Gunfire Reborn. Gunfire Reborn is wildly different from most of the other games on this list. I also want to warn you, it's also the only game on this list that's going to cost you some money. It's not free. Might not be my top choice because of that, but whatever, I still wanted to show it to you all. What you need to do is open the game up first with internet on, and then once you're logged in, you can turn off your internet and play. So if you're going on a flight, make sure to load up the game when you're still on the ground, and then that way you can play the game in the sky. It's a lot more cartoony than your average FPS game. It's an adventure, level-based, looter-shooter, roguelike FPS game. That's a mouthful for sure, but you can basically control heroes with various abilities to experience diverse gameplay. You fight through waves of enemies in several different levels until you go up against the final boss. Some of the enemies look like mutated animals, and I don't know, man, it's just a really cool game. Definitely one of the more polished games on this list. Getting close to the end here, the second to last game on this list is a brand new game that just came out a few days ago called Project H.A.Z.A.R.D. This game might not nearly be as good as some of the other games on this list right now, but since it's in such an early stage of development, I truly think over the next few months it's gonna get a lot better. This is an offline zombie first-person shooter where you fight through hordes of bloodthirsty zombies, rescue survivors, and try to stop the outbreak. It's already got a good amount of content. An interactive environment, more than 20 unique levels, 30 types of enemies, gun upgrades that are massively customizable, a unique techno-heavy soundtrack, unique cartoony graphics, and a lot more. It's certainly not the most smoothest game in the entire world, as it feels a bit clunky at times, but I do think it's a great game to have just in case you ever do run out of internet. It'll entertain you for a while before you inevitably restore your connection. And hey, the final game on this list is a game called Zona, Shadow of Limansk Redux. Doesn't it just sound cool? It's made by a developer who's made lots of other offline shooting games with great stories such as The Sun and the Mental Hospital series. I do want to say this game does cost $1.99, but you can play a demo version of the game for free if you're unsure whether you want to spend the money. I think that's a nice touch. This is a story-driven first-person post-apocalyptic shooter that blends combat and stealth with exploration and survival horror in what the developer claims is one of the most immersive mobile gaming worlds ever created. I don't know about that claim. It's a bold statement, and this game certainly does have its issues, but at the very least, it's challenging, tense, rewarding, and extremely in-depth. It's got a great story, great graphics, and just a ton of content for an offline game. I only wish this story was a bit longer. It does go by kinda quickly. But other than that, it's another great game by A Gaming Plus, and you definitely at least want to give the free demo version a shot. And hey, with all that being said, that's it for today's video. Those were 10 offline games that you definitely want to consider having on your phone, just in case you ever do run out of internet. Some of them I like more than others, some of them I would recommend over others, but honestly, it's up to you, and you can download whatever games you want. All of the download links are down in the description. I really hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did and you stayed this far, please take a second and leave a like and subscribe to my channel, because I do videos like this every couple of weeks and you definitely don't want to miss out on the next one. Thanks guys, and I'll see you all in the next video.